Welcome for the today's session of organization behavior. Hope all of you are feeling fine and safe. Today we will be discussing the another important and significant portion of the organization behavior. Dear students, as we discussed in our previous class, some of the research theories which have been done by the different researcher. So so that the different researchers and scientists has given the different theories and approaches toward the organization behavior. One of the theory was that the Meyer-Briggs theory toward the organization behavior we discussed in details in our previous class. So today we are going to discuss the uh, new topic of the organization behavior, that is the moderating variables. Dear students, if you do remember that we started from the dependent variables of the OB models, where with the help of some other factors these variables are going to affect the OB of the organizations, or specifically you could say that the characters, the attitudes, the norms, the behavior of the individual is going to be affected with the help of some of the dependent variable. For example, we say that job satisfaction is one of the the dependent variables which affects on the behavior of some of the individual within the society. Particularly if you talk about the business area or the business organizations, it affects on the business organizations. And then later on we discussed that some of the independent variables, which are itself directly affecting on the OB model of an organizations. Once we see that the OB model of the an organization, you can specify it within the society or community, or you can specify it within the organizations being as an individual, right? Today we are going to discuss the moderating variables. It is also one of the variables or the factors which determine some relations between the the behavior and attitude, right? This model of the OB exactly determine that how or what are the different relations or interconnection between the behavior as well as the attitude. So let me highlight something few about the attitude. As we discussed in our previous classes, is that we say that attitude is the inner thinking of someone toward the something. Now, inner thinking of someone with something, or with respect to the behavior of that individual within the society or business or organizations, are going to be determined under this model or under this topic. Hope it is clear the the topic of the today class. Yeah, so the most powerful moderators of the attitude and behavior relations are important of attitude correspondence to behavior. So as I said, that behavior, that the interconnections or connectivity or the relationship between the attitude as well as the behavior is going to be determined under this topic or under this approach or under this OB model, that is called as moderating variables. So it determines, or it says that the relationship between the attitude and correspondence or respondents or reply to the behavior is very important. Accessibility, existence of social pressures, and personal and direct experience of the attitude. So these are the things which are important with each others. They do have significations with each other. They do have direct and indirect relations with each other. So where if you say that the behavior of someone is low where his attitude is positive, itself it doesn't make sense. So this theory or this approach says that there are lots of importances between the attitudes as well as the uh, behavior. There is proper direct and indirect relations between these two uh, elements. And it is important to mention that those attitudes which are considered important by individual show strong relation to behavior, because the more close the attitudes the behavior or match, the more the relations become stronger. Dear students, this is very important because there is, as I said, that there is direct relation between the behavior as well as the the attitude of an individual within the organization or within the society. So it says that as long as the attitude is that much the behavior would be, or as long or as high the behavior of someone is, that much the attitude of the person would be. So it means that whenever the attitude of someone is going to be positive or high, it means that the obviously the behavior of an individual would be high. If the behavior of someone is going to be low, so obviously it would be affecting on the attitude of the individual within the society. So we say that it is very important and there is direct relation with each other between the attitude and behavior of an individual, because if you say that behavior is the characteristics or the action or reactions or the the attitude level of someone within the organization, so there is quite and precise direct relations between the uh, behavior as well as the attitude. And attitude can be easily predicted as compared to the behavior, and attitudes are given more priority because people usually remember attitudes frequently. Dear students, if you go for the comparison between the behavior and attitude, there are some certain differences or some certain, comparatively, some of the portions to be considered, that attitude is uh, getting more priority in the term of organization behavior, or in the term of behavior of some of the individual within the organizations with respect to the behavior. It says that always once we say that attitude is some things which we are going to remember in our mind. So if there are something which we remember in our mind, obviously we will be acting based on our attitude. So once we act or react based on our attitude, obviously the behavior would be the second options or the second things to be considered. All right, because the behavior of an individual is totally based on the attitudes. If the attitude of someone is going to be negative, obviously he or she would be reacting or acting within the society as a negative. All right, and at least we can say that in the different situations we have to behave differently, such as in the organizations we must be mentally prepared to which can be change our attitude. And beside this, there are many other factors which has great influence over our attitude. As I said before, that the students, attitudes are going to be maintained with respect to the situations. If the situation is crucial, obviously the attitude of someone would be as per the environment. Environment, geographical locations, the working area is too much considerable under the you know attitude of some employees within the organization. So it mentally, someone is going to be prepared with respect to some of the change. If some immediate change is going to be happen in our life or within the society and community, or if you talk about the business organization within the business area, some of the incidents is going to be happen, obviously the attitude of someone would be changing. So the attitude is with respect to the environment of the organizations, which each and every organization gives more priority, or each and every individuals give more priority. Or you could say that the approaches and the research theories are suggesting that the attitude is more prioritized rather than the behavior, because behavior is always running behind the attitude. So as I said before, that the attitude is positive, obviously the behavior of an organization, of an individual within the organization would be positive respectively. In a short, we can say that the relation between the attitude and behavior becomes stronger, yeah, when attitude refers to something which the individual has direct and personal experience. As I said before, dear students, the interconnection between the behavior as well as the attitudes are going to be stronger with the passage of time, as the these researchers and these scientists and these approaches are suggesting for us. Obviously here, the attitudes is some things where an individual is going to be also getting with the help of some of the experience. As I do say that the student's attitude could be change with respect to the time. Obviously when someone is going to get more experience, either in the working environment or either inside the community, obviously the attitude of the employee or the attitude of the individual is going to be change. So here, uh, some for this purpose, for the purpose of understanding better the moderize or the moderating variables research approach is going to suggest us some of the measure job attitudes. What would be the different jobs attitude within the business organization? It's better to find it out that within the business organizations, when there are different people, diverse cultures, diverse religions are going to work together with respect to the technology which are going to be used within the business organizations. Obviously, there are some of the job attitudes. For this purpose, let's find it out what are the different job attitudes of the organization. A person can have thousands of attitudes, but here we will only focus on some specific ones which are related to our task. We usually focus on three aspects uh, which are used in the organization as follows. The students, as beginning, as I said, that the OB or the organization could be maintained within the society, could be maintained within the life of an individuals within the community, and could be maintained within the business organization. So specifically, we are here to discuss some of the jobs attitude within the business organizations rather than our personal life or within the community. So long we are going to discuss about the organization behavior, our intentions, and the requirement of understanding or getting knowledge about the organization behavior is that we are going to collect, we are going to discuss some of the used terminologies which are going to be used within the business organization. So here this moderating variables model of OB are suggesting three uh, job attitudes within the business organizations rather than other things. So as basically obviously each and every individual would be having more than hundred thousands of attitudes related to their personal problems, related to their life, related to their family, related to their network which are operating within the society. But particularly and precisely, there are three jobs attitude within the business organization. The first one is job satisfaction, the second one is job involvement, and the third one is organizational commitment. Let's discuss one by one. Job satisfaction, if you do remember, we discussed this portion under the dependent variable of OB model. Today we are here to discuss this job satisfaction as a one of the very important job attitude within the business organizations. Before to go through the slides, let me just put it in a simple way that obviously the job satisfactions of employees would be directly affecting on the attitude of the employees within the organization. So, as we do have here, job satisfaction means a positive feeling about a job, which is resulted from an evaluation. The students, if you talk about the HR or HRM perspectives, each and every employees would be getting a final report based on the monthly, quarterly, or annually, based on their performance which they do play within the organizations. If their performance or their evaluation report is high, it's mean that they would be getting some of the incentive from the organization. So job satisfaction in the sense means that positive feeling, positive feeling in the sense means that the employees are very happy from the organizations. Quite opposite of that, the organization is going to be happy or satisfied from the employees. So this positivity creates some of the attitudes within the organizations. That attitude is going to be considered as a positive attitude of the employees within the business organization. In a short, we could say that the job satisfaction is going to be the producer of the the positive feeling within the organizations, which is the output of the evaluations. Obviously, if some employee is not going to work perfectly as per the requirement of the organization, that the evaluation report of that employee would be low. Once it is low, it's mean that there is negative or very low level of positive feeling within the organization. And a person with a high level of the job satisfaction shows positive feeling about his or her job, while a dissatisfied person shows that negative feelings. Exactly what I said before you, that the satisfactions of an employee is high. It's mean that the attitude is going to be high based on the evaluations. And when there is the satisfaction level of an employee is low, innerly it is going to be negative, because we say that the attitude is some things inner inner thinking of someone towards some things. It's mean that when we are happy from the jobs, it's mean that innerly we are going to be satisfied. Once we are going to be satisfied innerly, it's mean that our attitude is going to be positive. The second one is that the three job attitudes, major job attitude. The second one is job involvement. And the job involvement means that showing involvement in the job which is related with the satisfaction. We can say that job involvement measures the degree of which the people identify psychologically with their job. People with a high job involvement level strongly identify their job with their performance. This portion is little bit psychological aspects of the job attitudes. If you have seen some of the employees within the organizations, they are very strong psychologically, and they are going to identify their job. They are going to identify their task to be done on the basis of daily or weekly or monthly. So involvement in the sales mean that the way of getting some things inside the job. So now once we say that the way of getting some things inside the job is that psychologically how an employee is going to be identify his or her task, or to measure the degree of the people psychologically how they are going to be perform. Once again, the students, from the HRM perspective, there are some senior people, top level of the management, who are always identifying the work of the employees or the task which are already assigned to the employees psychologically. So once they see you, once they talk to you, they are gonna to find it out the degree of the work within the organization. So basically, once we talk about the job satisfaction, so we need to know that the job involvement in the sense mean that psychologically how an employee is going to identify his or her work to be done strongly, and then to be performed systematically. Once the task is to be identified and performed systematically, obviously the attitude would be positive. Here another important concept, psychologically empowerment, which is the degree of belief of the employees in which they influence their work environment. And the another aspects of this is, dear students, innerly how much we do our confidence about the work. An employee within the organization must be confident and full-fledged toward the work environment, that how he or she is going to perform the work. There should be confidency inside the work environment. So this is the second things of the major job attitude within the organizations. If you have seen that some of the people are very strong and very optimistic and very confidence toward doing the work within the organization, so these things is also going to be one of the major job attitudes. So when someone is confidential and full pledged toward doing work within the organization, would be having always positive attitudes inside that particular organization. And the last one, the third major job attitude is that organizational commitment. Dear students, commitment is something where someone is going to commit, to be committed. So now under the job attitudes, there are some certain things which are committed to the organization. So if the organization is going to be going to done those things, obviously the attitude of the employees within the organization would be positive. So now as a third major job attitudes is that organizational commitment. So let's find it out, what are the different commitments toward the organizations for the purpose of job attitude. Organizational commitment is the degree to which an employee identify with a particular organization and its goal and wishes. So there, here again, it's the organizational commitments or some of the degrees or some of the, excuse me, some of the elements or some of the things that the employee identify with a particular organization with its goals and wishes. Difference being as an employer of each and every organization, if you talk about the national organization or international organization, there are some dreams and wishes of the employees. If the wishes and the goal or the dream of the employees is going to be satisfied, there would be positive attitudes. So now this point refers to the that how an employee is going to find it out his or herself in a better way within the organization. That is called as organizational commitment. So now it depends on the organization policies and strategies how they are going to find it out or provide such kind of environment and temperature for the employers or for the employees to get their goal and wishes. If it is the matter of salary, if it is the matter of environment, if it is the matter of discipline, if it is the matter of holidays, and it is all but no matter, it could be anything, but the organizational commitments or some things or some degrees that are particularly related to the goal and wishes of the employees. So now this degree could refer to the anything salaries, I said before that, promotions or some things like transportations, holidays, and etc. Organization commitments has three separate dimensions as follows. So for the purpose of better understanding, let's highlight the three dimension of the organizational commitments where the employees are getting their goal and wishes. Now the degrees or the things where an employees are getting their goals, dreams, and wishes from that particular job or from that particular organization, that is organizational commitment. Organizational commitment is going to be separated into three dimensions, into three ways, into the three factors, into three elements. The first one is that affective commitment, the second one is continuous commitment, and the third one is normative commitment. Let's discuss one by one. Affective commitment, which is one of the organizational commitment toward getting the goal or providing or achieving the goal and wishes of the employees within the organization, or identifying the goal and wishes of the employees within the organization, is that affective commitment is an emotional achievement to an organization. If you do remember, this is under the Meyer-Briggs theories. We say that some of the people or some of the personality or some of the individuals are going to be emotional rather than being silent or being cool and calm. So this affective commitment of the organizational commitment is something which related to the emotional level or emotional degree of the achievement to an organization, emotional achievement. So with the help of some of the emotions, with the help of some of the some of the seriousness, the organization would be achieving some things which shows that the job attitude within the organization. If you go for the some of the international, excuse me, international organizations or companies, so few of them are going to be providing the degree of the emotional achievement to the organization. And the second one is continuous commitment. Continuous commitment is the commitment about staying with the organizations or to to continue work with the organization. So it's basically some things where an employee is going to do the work or perform the work or stay within the organizations for a long period of time continuously. It means that if you have seen some of the employers or who are working within the organizations for the period of 5 years, 10 years, and more than that, this itself determine the attitude of the employees within the organization. If you have seen that the freshers who are working within the organization, their attitude level is not that much strong as compared to the employer who have already joined the organization. So respectively, the second organizational commitment is that continuous commitment. And the continuous commitments, it determines that how long and how the you know the organizations to continue with work with the organization, or how the employees are going to perform the work within the organizations, or how long the organization is going to be intimated toward the employer, how the organization is going to satisfy the employees to work for a long time. That is also one of the things which affects on the job attitudes or determine jobs attitude. So two things, that how long the employers is going to work with the organizations are also affecting or determining the job attitude level. And the second one is that how long the organization is loyal toward the employee, you know which determines the job attitudes. And the last one is normative commitment. And the normative commitment means that an obligation to remain with the organizations for moral or ethical reasons. The assurance obligation in this sense means that necessities. Necessities means that there some things are necessary within the organizations, that to remain with the organization, to stay, to continue doing job within the organization. Either it could be moral or either it could be ethical reasons. Difference within the organization, there are some of the situations or some of the commitment, which affects the job attitude of employees within the organization, is that the organization is going to give some of the obligations, some of the necessities, or due to some of the necessities, the employer is going to work within the organizations. Maybe it could be moral reason or ethical reason, due to some of the moralities, and due to some of the formalities, and due to some of the ethics, some of the employees are going to continue with the work within the organization, which affects on the job attitude of the employees. So in a summarized ways, the organizational commitments, which are these are some of the degrees which are uh, identifying the particular identifying the employee's wishes and goal, or for the purpose of fulfillment of the employees goals and wishes within the organizations. The organization must be having some of the degrees and some of the things to be provided. So these things are separated into three dimensions. The first one is effective commitment, the second one is continuous commitment, and the third one is normative commitments. So we will be concluding the today's session of organization behavior over here, and we will and continuing with the remaining of the course policy in our next classes. Thank you so much from your kind attention, and God bless you. Stay safe and healthy.